Hi, I'm Mayce.
And I'm Missy.
We're best friends
and business partners. And each week, we're going to bring you a quote that inspires us, and we're going to talk about it.
Join us as we break down our favorite impactful messages for leadership and share how you can apply them to lead with confidence and purpose.
Get ready for a fun and authentic journey into leadership, life, and everything in between.
Well, hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
Happy Tuesday. Happy podcast day. Happy almost Halloween.
I know. Yeah, happy all those things to you too, my friend.
Well, thank you. This week, our guest is Joshua Spychalla, and he is a leader in the NDT space. And honestly, before meeting Joshua, we didn't know about this world of NDT, but when we met him and we chatted with him, it's really like one of those industries that we need, right? It needs to be out there, but it's just one of those industries that people don't really know that it even exists, I think.
I know, right? And today with Joshua, we're going to actually talk about a quote that landed him the role that he is in because, well, he said yes.
Yes. And Joshua, thank you for saying yes to us and for being a part of our show. Before we share the quote and talk about it, we want you to share with our listeners some highlights of who you are and maybe let them know what is NDT.
Yeah, Macy and Missy, thank you both so much. It was great getting the opportunity to talk to you before about this. So I in a previous life, I was a veteran Army officer.
Thank you for serving.
Oh, thank you. I always tell people that the thanks really go to the men and women who did the work. I was lucky enough to just get to ride on their coattails, but I appreciate it. Yeah, and so transitioning out of that, there's a formal process in the Army where you're given essentially a counselor to try to help you walk into your next life. And I had an invested individual take notice of some of my capabilities, things that I'm kind of good at, good with my hands and mechanically inclined, general leaning towards technology. And so he had a friend and he connected me with someone who ran a program in an industry called nondestructive testing, or NDT. And as you all did when I first heard it, I looked at him and I said, "What is that?" And he gave me his best explanation. He wasn't even that well versed in it, but essentially he explained that it's a method of inspecting or certifying equipment and tools and parts to make sure that they are going to be safe for use in a lot of different industries. So some of the primary industries that we operate in are the aerospace industry, construction, oil and gas, really all of the industries that require some form of safety. There are non-destructive testing operators that are helping to certify the safety of those equipment.
Yeah, like you said, Macy, we need it.
Yeah, it's something we need. And I would say if you have an interest in learning more about it, we spent some time with Joshua and I was really fascinated by it. So if you have an interest in learning more, definitely reach out. We'll share at the end how you could get connected to Joshua.
Well, let's share this week's quote. It's a great one. It's opportunities multiply as they are seized. So good. It's attributed to Sun Tzu. And, there's so much goodness about it. So Joshua, go first. Tell us a little bit about what this quote, how does it speak to you?
Yeah. When I hear the quote and when I think about it, I essentially simplify it down to actions compound. So one yes, if you stick to it and you come at it with the right attitude, often will open up a lot of doors to other possibilities that you didn't foresee when you took that step through the first door.
Right. Missy and I often call that living on the other side of yes. You have to say the first yes to get to the second yes, to get to the third yes, right?
So
Joshua,
true.
share with us a time maybe in your career when you took one bold step, opened a door that you were just referring to that maybe you didn't even know existed. And quite frankly, it could be just getting into the industry,
Yeah.
right? But share with us something that has happened that you said yes, that maybe led to something you didn't even know was possible.
Yeah. My most obvious example that I'm really living in right now is in the field that I'm in. There's an organization that kind of oversees the standards and practices of the organization. It's called ASNT. It's the American Society for Non-Destructive Testing. And just in the periphery of LinkedIn or somewhere, I don't even remember where anymore. I saw a posting for a program that they were starting or had recently started called the Rise Leadership Development Program. And they said that they were taking applications from newer members of the field. I said, I'm definitely a newer member of the field. Probably, if I am being honest with what I was really thinking, is I'm way too new in this field. There's no reason that they would
They
ever.
would chose you.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where the combination of the luck of just having seen it, the time in my life where I, had the freedom to spend the time applying for it, and apparently either the openings in the program or somebody's being willing to take a risk on me, I got accepted into it, and that step has led me not only to learn a lot more about this organization and the industry as a whole. The program really focuses not only on leadership development, which I have a heart for because of my military career, but also on networking and mentoring. And so I immediately got thrown into a sea of people with caring individuals kind of lovingly pushing me from behind, saying, hey, here's someone you should talk to.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone. Go talk to these people. They seem like giants of our niche industry, but some of them really do. I mean, yeah, I can get into that later. But anyways, people encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone, and through that, I mean, I am daily taking more and more steps in this path that it's opened up, and it blows my mind every day.
So
That's
good.
awesome.
So good.
Missy, anything for you stand out, like a time in your career?
Yes.
I mean, I laugh because I feel like the list is so long, right?
Well, I mean, it is so true. So for our listeners, most of them, if they've listened to many, they know I'm a former school teacher. And Macy, I never wanted to do anything in my life but teach school. And so when we had a transition with our family and we were moving, I had an opportunity to step outside of the classroom, and I started a franchise, and all of a sudden I had about 20 women working with me, right? And that door opened me meeting someone who opened another door of an opportunity, which I couldn't even believe I was able to be a part of, which that door opened the door to becoming certified as a leadership expert, speaker, coach, trainer, which opened the door to meeting you, my friend. And actually, those doors keep opening. We keep saying yes, which actually has led us to be behind this microphone right now,
Right.
And have this conversation with Josh and meet people from all over the world. And quite frankly, all of that has nothing to do with me, but
Right.
it's all those doors have opened opportunities for pouring into literally thousands of people. So yes, one door opening has opened many. What about you, Macy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing. It's like, I don't think that there's a time in the past 10 years that I can even say that a door didn't open.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just a matter of saying yes when it feels aligned. The quote itself, opportunities multiply as they are seized. I feel like that is a true testament to our lives. And now Joshua sharing, obviously in his life too, that it does all come down to saying yes to one thing. If it's in alignment with how you feel, right? It's got to be integritous to who you are, your values, and all of that. So,
Yeah. And then it just creates that ripple effect of doors opening. Like it always makes me think of Monsters Inc. with all the doors, that's what it does. Okay. So how do you personally recognize when something is an opportunity versus like a distraction, right? I mean, so many people have like shiny object syndrome. I mean, I am one that I have to fight that, but it's like squirrel. So is there a method to use for discernment of that? Josh?
Yeah, Missy. Well, first of all, as a teacher or former teacher, thank you for your service.
Oh,
my wife is a teacher, or was a teacher, and comes from a long, strong family of teachers. So I know that is definitely time in the trenches.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wonderful to hear about both of the opportunities that you were able to take and where it's brought you. And I think it's a testament that it's easy to see when you look back. You can see the lines that connected it, but almost never can anyone pinpoint like this was the day I knew I was going to get to the top of that hill by taking this first step. You just end up there. You
don't see it till you look in the rearview mirror, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And to answer your question though, sorry.
No, I was going to say, Joshua, do you think that there is a method, like what is the filter that you put a thought or an idea through?
So I am very aware that there should be. I definitely fall on the side of somebody who has shiny object syndrome, or at least
I love that answer.
Yeah, my wife would tell you that she lovingly bears with that aspect of me, noticing. And the thing that I've been learning and living in is the grasping the opportunities. Now I think I'm getting to a point where I do have to start being more discerning about which opportunities really meet my values. And I think that answers the question that you were asking.
Yeah, I think too, values is a great filter, but it also sometimes comes down to time. Like if you're saying yes to something, then you're saying no to something else. And that something else could be as equally or more valuable than the thing you're debating. So I think I love that.
That's Joshua. A great point, Macy, that you said. Say that again.
When you say yes to something, in essence, you're saying no to something else. And is that something else more valuable, a better aligned? Listen, I think all three of us could probably say yes to a million things every single day.
Right.
We sometimes
have that movie Yes Man, right?
Yeah, we sometimes have to remind ourselves that no is a complete sentence.
That's right.
As well. So one of the things, obviously in alignment with this quote is that it talks about swift action, right? Like Missy and I believe that is how we've been able to build our business. We take action, but then we
before
reflect
we're ready, Macy. Before we're ready.
We take action, we reflect on that action, like we figured out what worked well, what didn't work so well, we readjust, and then we're out there taking action again. But Joshua, can you think of a time that maybe you hesitated taking swift action and it actually cost you something?
Oh, wow. That's an introspective question. If you'll give me a moment to kind of think on it,
because I'm challenging myself, thinking was there a time that even I had hesitation that cost me something?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
I can't say absolutely that it cost me something. And honestly, it's one of those things. I think I love the term in the quote "seized" because it's a statement of action.
Yes.
And like you said, swift and forceful action. It's a military quote, but I think it applies to leadership and just life in general. But with that same idea of swift, decisive action, I think you have to hold all other possibilities loosely. Otherwise, you can get bogged down in the what if. What if I did that? And especially when it comes to people, I think if we can celebrate other people's wins, especially in the places that the opportunities we chose not to take, I think that's a great thing. And so that leads me into the one time I can think of somewhat recently is the schooling that I went through in order to get into the industry I'm in now. It was offered by a nonprofit, so it was essentially free of charge. It's called AATA. I'm going to just keep throwing acronyms at you till your eyes go cross.
Alphabet soup, right?
Yeah, but it's the American, oh gosh, now I'm not even going to remember it. It's the American Technical Aerospace Academy, I believe. It's a nonprofit that originally started in Los Angeles that provides the training to get people into this field at low to no cost, usually through grants, and helps them springboard into this industry. But as I was coming out of that, I made a couple connections, and I was watching them. And I thought at one point that it might be really interesting to get more involved with that organization.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I want to support it and be an advocate for it, because it really had, helped me step into life outside of the military. And I appreciated that so much. And as I was thinking about it and focused more on what am I going to do for my next job, career directly, I kind of slept on reaching out to somebody and saying like, hey, I'd like to explore an opportunity doing this. And I noticed probably at the time, it was a few months after I'd been thinking or deliberating about doing that. Another individual started posting, they had been selected for a position doing essentially what I had hoped to do. And so at the moment, I really thought that, man, I slept on that one, and I could have, they were clearly looking for somebody for this opportunity, and I didn't, I was afraid or whatever it was, too busy to take the time. So at the time, I really saw that as what you're describing. Now I've actually met the person. He's coming through the RISE program, so I can, imagine to myself that I played some small role in him being able to get in that track with some of my advocacy for it, and we're becoming friends. So I don't hold it. I've held that opportunity that I missed loosely, but
yeah,
we've referenced a couple of movies. We referenced Monsters Inc. and Yes Ma'am, but it makes me think. I don't know if, well, Joshua, you probably have never seen this movie. Missy, you probably have. Sliding Doors, right?
Yes.
Like depending on in the movie, whichever train car she went into, that determined her future. And I think sometimes you're not going to know what a missed opportunity
that's
really
what I was
you,
going to say.
right?
How would you know?
How are you going to know?
Yeah. It's those coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? Okay, so we know, especially in our business, Joshua, working with leaders from all over the world, that fear often plays a role in leadership. So, what fears do you see most often hold leaders or even teams back from like seizing opportunities?
I think the number one fear that I see is fear of failure.
Yes, we do
Someone,
too. Yeah.
is just, terrified of letting themselves down, letting others down, hearing, anything that sounds like they couldn't do it, which a lot of times that's not true. It's just they couldn't do it now. But I think that's probably the number one thing that I've seen is, and it's young leaders that are still kind of figuring out their way to lead well, and then people that are have the capability for leadership. Those are the three. Strong leaders, I think, generally have found ways to overcome the fear of failure, and so they have other struggles to deal with, I'm sure. But
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
That seasoned leaders usually have less fear of failure because they know the success that lies.
They've been in the trenches.
Yeah, kind of a piggyback to that, Joshua. How do you personally overcome self-doubt or second guessing yourself when you're in front of an opportunity?
I like to put myself through a lot of self-induced trauma therapy. It goes along with my shiny object syndrome, but whenever I get that twinge in the back of my head that says like, I think I could do that, or I think I might like to do that, I tend to challenge myself to try it at some point. One of the big things, it's not relevant to leadership or relevant or directly relevant to it, but like I at one point decided that I was going to take up doing karaoke as like a hobby, and so every job I do a lot of travel work. I will find a place that does karaoke and sing karaoke. It doesn't matter if I'm there by myself, and I've met so many great people from all over the country. Another one is stand-up comedy. I told myself one day that I think I could tell jokes in front of people, and so I actually about a month ago found an opportunity to do an open mic comedy stand-up routine. Went out, I did like probably 10 minutes. The person running it was very kind and generous. The people that were there didn't pay anything, so they didn't feel like they, were shorted. Things like that are the way that I do it, and I feel like it's really given me some perspective on just how little long-term impact fears end up having when you face them.
Oh, I love
that
that perspective.
I love
Missy,
that. Yeah.
Have you ever done karaoke?
I have.
I have never, not one time.
Yeah.
Really?
Done karaoke. Never. Now, I will say this, and I know we're going off on a tangent, but I'm just going to comment, then we'll move on. This place that we sometimes go for dinner on Monday nights, they have music trivia. So they'll ask a question or play a song. And sometimes I will kind of just belt out. I don't care if other people are around, but I've actually never done karaoke.
That sounds like a team building trip.
I know it does. I
right.
think we need to do some research and development there, Mayce, and come back and do a podcast. Do you have a go-to song, Joshua?
I do, and that's actually one of the things that helped me overcome my fear. Was I had the opportunity to be in front of some people that were of a different genre than me. Let's call it more seasoned. And I wanted to sing karaoke with them because they seemed like they were really enjoying themselves, just great people. Mm-hmm. And I knew that any of the music I was going to sing was not going to land. And so somebody actually advised me to watch a movie. We're going to keep referencing movies. But the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because there's some timeless classics in there. And one of them is Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by the band Looking Glass.
I know the song.
I don't know that song.
Yes, you do. And you've heard it.
You can add it in afterwards. Listen, we'll have a listening party afterwards.
That's right.
But yeah, it's. I don't want to get on a tangent about it, but it's a song that is just a beautiful song that really is well received by everybody, and so that made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, go ahead, Missy. You go first.
I was going to say one of the things that I loved, that I heard, that I know resonated with you too, Mayce, is that you intentionally, well, it's a word we talk about a lot, you intentionally seek out opportunities to overcome that fear, and you take action as you seek those out. So I loved that.
Pretty much exactly what I was going to say. No surprise that having that fear led you to do something anyway. Okay, as we start wrapping up, we're curious, what opportunities do you think leaders in your industry are missing right now?
This is something that I'm really leaning into. You ask the question about how to tell the difference between opportunities that are just distractions and shiny objects versus the ones that are really important. And I listened to a different podcast not long ago, and I am not going to remember the gentleman's name, but so I apologize. But the idea that he stated was so powerful. He talked about how one of the most impactful things in his life was when somebody took a bet on him early on in his career. And so that idea, it was honestly, when I was listening to it, I started to tear up because I realized that's a core feeling inside of me, that idea of knowing somebody saw something in you to be willing to take a bet on you or place a bet on you, take a risk on you when they didn't have to. And so that's something that I feel like I wish I saw more willingness to do that in other leaders around me. And I don't want to disparage the leaders around me, because they are all wonderful in all of their ways that they lead. And honestly, I probably wouldn't, have any of this to discuss with you if people hadn't taken risks and bets on me getting to here. However, I think it's something that we could double down on, and the value of those opportunities pays off so much, even if it's just somebody knowing that you were willing to take a risk on them. And so that's something that I'm trying to grow into as I look at what other opportunities I want to take. I think the important ones for me are going to start becoming ones that allow me to show others that I'm willing to bet on them.
Love
And I
that
think it
so much.
It goes back to the fear part, right? Like a lot of people may be afraid to pour into someone or give them an opportunity because of all those what ifs that we know.
Yeah.
Well, what I think about it, like where my mind went as you were sharing, Joshua, is that's legacy building, right? When you start pouring into people and helping them develop and believe in themselves, that's how you build a legacy. So that's so good. Well, y'all, this is so great. I mean, we really do believe everyone needs to live on the other side of yes, and really like take advantage of an opportunity when it's in front of you. Don't let it pass you by.
No, and I think it's interesting because I think a lot of times people feel like if I don't act on an opportunity, they've just missed it, right? Like, oh, I just missed that opportunity. But if you don't seize it, you don't miss it. Someone else gets it.
Yes, I actually thought about that earlier in the podcast.
When Joshua was sharing the story about, well, I kind of slept on this opportunity.
Yes.
He slept on it, but someone else took it. I mean, now you're connected to that person, but I mean, someone else grabs it if you don't. That's right. For sure.
And I think that that's actually a great segue into this week's big takeaway, right? If you take only one thing from this episode, let it be this. Opportunity isn't luck, it's leverage.
Ooh, that's a tweetable if we tweeted.
If only we tweeted.
Opportunity isn't luck, it's leverage. Tweet.
Well, it's because every time you act on an opportunity, you create momentum that reveals those new doors, right? Those new doors that you couldn't see before, doors you didn't even know were out there. And so action compounds, and hesitation, it really stalls you. It holds you back.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes leaders, like they wait for the perfect timing. They're the ones that miss the moment, right? The best leaders, they move with purpose, not perfection. They know that seizing one opportunity does multiply, just like the quote tells us, what's possible for tomorrow for themselves, but also for other people in their life, for their family, for the people that they lead.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Joshua, thank you so much for being here today. We have so enjoyed having you. If our listeners want to stay connected with you or even learn more about what you do or what your company offers, how can they do that?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for making a bet on me. I mean, you did not have to have me on here for any reason, but thank you so much. To stay in contact with me or to get in contact with me, LinkedIn is going to be the best way. It's Joshua Spychalla.
And we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't try to spell it.
It'll be 9 times out of 10, I'll misspell it.
And Joshua, as we wrap up, we ask this of all of our guests. What is your favorite leadership quote?
My favorite leadership quote is by Coach John Wooden. It's that a strong leader gives the credit and accepts the blame. Yes. A weak leader gives the blame and accepts credit.
Oh, that's
such a good one. We love John Wooden quotes. Well, listeners, we want to hear from you too. Do you have a favorite leadership quote? Send it our way and we might spotlight it on a future episode, huh, Bestie?
Yes, we'll be back next week with another quote and more leadership insights. And you know what we're going to do.
Yep. We're going to talk about it. All right. Bye, Joshua. Thank you. Bye, Bestie.
Bye, Mayce. Bye, Missy. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this show, please show us some love by clicking the 3 dots to download the podcast, leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast app, and talk about it with other leaders to help them find the show from any of the major podcast apps. We'd love for you to follow us on social media too. Mpactful with an M _ messages on Instagram and Mpactful Messages on LinkedIn.